It's just cool, the energy that gets brought into the ballpark, and obviously for so many fans to have this opportunity to revisit some of that feel good that they had before. That's special because I really like to see other people enjoy themselves. I get enjoyment about watching other people find joy, and I believe we're going to put something out there tomorrow night that's going to bring a lot of joy to a lot of different people on a lot of different levels.
And you're speaking yesterday, of course. Let's review what Pittsburgh playoff baseball looks like. Game 5 NLCS against Atlanta, down 3-1 in the series. They get off to a great start in the first. Runner in scoring position, Jake Bell, single up the middle scoring. Barry Bonds, that's his first extra base hit ever in the postseason, which dated back a couple of years. Pirates get 4 in the first, and they got a complete game from Bob Walk. It's Mark Lemke here. Pirates win at 7-1, lost the series. But new century, new hope.
Oh, it means a lot. It means a lot. 20 years of losing, and what we had back in the 70s with Clemente, Sargent, all them guys, this means a lot.
I think it means a new hope, really. We've always had the Steelers. The last couple of years, we really had the Penguins to look forward to, and now we finally have that third round out. We don't have a basketball team, so the fact that we have all 3 sports to look at and be excited about is really exciting for us.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, especially, like you said, the Steelers are important. I mean, this gives us something to do in October. It's fantastic.
I feel like there's a lot of people who are still trying to hang on to that Steeler pride, but we get to wear a different shirt today, so we're excited about it.
Well, we're painting for the Steelers, but we're enjoying the Pirates. Right now, we're concentrating on baseball and enjoying that.
All right, Bob Holtzman is on the scene in Pittsburgh with what you need to know about tonight's wild card game. And, Bob, they've been waiting 21 years for a night like this.
Kevin, they have, and a couple of really interesting things to keep an eye on in this game on the field here tonight. First of all, for the Pirates, Russell Martin will catch Francisco Liriano. Martin is the Pirates' best hitting catcher, but he doesn't normally catch Liriano. In fact, he only did once in September, and Liriano started 5 times. The good news for Pittsburgh fans is that in that start, it was here at PNC Park against the Reds about 10 days ago. Liriano was very good. For the Reds, outfielder Billy Hamilton, who has electrified Cincinnati since he got called up September 2nd with 13 stolen bases, is on the roster tonight, but is not in the starting lineup. Dusty Baker said he didn't even think about starting Hamilton tonight, said Hamilton still has a lot to learn and he's not ready for this, but Baker said he will look for an opportune time in the late innings into the game. We assume that will be as a pinch runner and a defensive replacement. And one more thing, these teams played each other 19 times this year. They combined to hit 25 batsmen in those 19 games. In fact, before they played last weekend in Cincinnati, both teams were warned because of all the hit batters. Both teams insist there is not any bad blood, but it's certainly, Kevin, something to keep an eye on here in this winner-takes-all one game tonight.
It is a city with a rich baseball history. Ought to be a great scene tonight. Bob Holtzman on the scene in Pittsburgh. Well, each team will rely on its stars tonight, and few players stood out in their head-to-head play this season more than Joey Votto. Led the Reds with a .320 average against Pittsburgh, finished 1 home run short of a share of that lead, while Mike Leake was the go-to arm. Marlon Byrd starred for the Pirates after coming over in August. 4 players hit 4 homers. A.J. Burnett anchored the staff. Clint Hurdle and Dusty Baker now facing a one-and-done scenario.
We finished well. We won the games we needed to win, and the entire game process, from the offensive approach, tightened up a little bit. We played 27 outs on defense for the most part. We pitched very effectively. So going in, we've earned our way to this spot. We have some confidence going in. We'll look forward to the competition tonight. It's going to be great.
It hurts to go home. It hurts to lose. I really can't imagine losing and going home now. And this is very, very important series for us all, very important series for our town, and very important series for my players. That, when I got here, man, these guys were, they're a lot of kids, but now they're men.
Baker and Hurdle will put their playoff hopes on the arms of Johnny Cueto and Francisco Liriano. Cueto 5-2 with a sub-3 ERA. Liriano led the Pirates with 16 wins this season, including an 8-1 record at home. Carl Ravitch in the Baseball Tonight gang preview the first playoff game of the year.
Liriano 8-1 at home this year, and Cueto 8-2 in his career at PNC Park. So he's pitched very well. Kurt Schilling, Barry Larkin, And John Crut, here we go with this wild card game. Don't forget, last week, basically, the Pirates destroyed the Reds in Cincinnati, wiped them out in 3 games, so they're feeling good. Very familiar lineup. There's Votto. Between Shu, Votto, and Jay Bruce, the lefties, they're combined 8 for 52 against Liriano. So he has shut them down as lefties, which means guys like Brandon Phillips and Frazier and maybe Cozart and Hannigan can deliver. The Pittsburgh Pirate lineup, Barry, looks like this. They're at home. There's some good vibes in that city right now.
That's right, and certainly coming off that 3-game sweep. They've got Sterling Marte at the beginning. That speed is important to get on base. And Andrew McCutchen, the reason I believe he's the MVP this year is because this team has won. Murnau is bringing some veteran leadership, and of course, Pedro Alvarez has had a great season at third base.
Not a lot of number 6 hitters with 36 home runs. We'll get to Liriano in just a second, but what does this game feel like to you as an observer of both these teams all year?
Well, it feels like the Pirates are supposed to win. I don't know why, but for me, it just seems like the Pirate season ends today. There's something wrong with that. And I'm sure Johnny Cueto's going to have something to say about that. But I look at those lineups, and as a pitcher, those are 2 lineups that can be game planned, and that can be pitched to. The important piece being both of these guys have to have more than 1 pitch. They have to be commanding their fastballs, and they have to be executing a breaking ball at the beginning of this game. You saw the game last night. Early runs in October are paramount to success. And I think back to playing in some postseason series, it's not about going out and throwing up a 0. It's about going out and a dominating 0 in that first inning. There's something to be said for striking out the side, the top of the first, or the bottom of the first, and creating momentum where there is no offense.
Puff your chest out a little bit as you walk back towards your bench.
Spit to the other team's dugout.
You do that too. He would never do that.
He did.
Oh, he did.
I witnessed it. Yeah.
Give me a breakdown on Liriano.
Well, if you're the Cincinnati Reds, you mentioned the numbers between the 3 lefties in that lineup and what they have to do. To me, they have to start swinging early. Pitch count goes out the window if I'm playing against Liriano. I'm hitting fastball. Joey Votto, a very patient hitter. He's going to take the fastball and let Liriano get to the slider, which she can't hit. Jay Bruce, the same thing. He lets the fastball go. Even though that's out over the plate away, you still got to take a hack at that because you're not going to hit that pitch when you have to swing at it. And Shin-Soo Choo, the same thing. Fastball, middle in, he takes it, and then he gets to this one on the 2-2 pitch. You can't hit it. He doesn't throw the slider for strikes, but if he commands his fastball for strikes and makes them chase out of the zone by getting ahead of them, those 3 guys are going to be irrelevant in this game tonight.
Try to eliminate a feature pitch. Certainly, the feature pitch for Liriano is that slider. So certainly hit the fastball. Best breaking ball hitter is the guy that doesn't miss.
What's the scouting report on the umpire behind home plate, Joe West?
Joe will call consistent strikes. And above all else, that's what I'm looking for as a pitcher. I'd love to have balls called strikes. In lieu of that, I want everything to be consistent. Strike 1 needs to be strike 3, and ball 1 needs to be ball 4.
All right, we will, of course, be on SportsCenter after the game, and then a late baseball tonight to recap the Pirates and the Reds. Back to you.
All right, Randy, thanks. Much more on Reds-Pirates' first playoff game of the postseason. And the Baseball Tonight gang back with the rest of the baseball postseason, 7 Eastern over on ESPN2.
Houston 42, the Thunder 41. As Beverly strips the ball from Westbrook and hurts his knee after the timeout call. And Russell Westbrook hobbled, trying to walk off whatever just happened.
Remarkably stayed in that game, but that was an ouch then, and there's an ouch now. A bump in the recovery road for Thunder guard Russell Westbrook. Actually, it's a small incision in the recovery road. Oklahoma City's point guard undergoing an arthroscopic procedure on his right knee today to relieve some stubborn swelling in the joint. He's expected to miss the first month to 6 weeks of the coming NBA season. Now, Westbrook originally injured in the first round of the playoffs back in April, a lateral meniscus tear that ended the 3-time All-Star season. Now, the surgery to fix the problem was successful, and the injury has healed properly. The most recent problem caused by a stitch from the first operation. That all got cleaned up now on Tuesday. Mark Schwartz from OKC.
Thunder point guard Russell Westbrook underwent arthroscopic knee surgery early Tuesday morning to remove a loose stitch from his right knee, a knee in which he underwent meniscus surgery after tearing that ligament April 24th against the Houston Rockets. This is a player who is an Ironman. He holds the longest active streak in the NBA.
Damn it.
394 consecutive regular season games. He never missed a high school game or a game at UCLA either. So it hit his teammates like a ton of bricks to be without his dynamic playmaker and extraordinary defensive presence for as much as 6 weeks of this NBA season.
We're going to miss Russ, no doubt. We've seen that. The playoffs, especially.
We won't miss him, but